Hi there, I am the book lady, and I have brought two very different books to you today. Now, one of them has some sadness to it, but it also is going to make us think. We're going to know some things maybe we didn't know before, and it's going to make us hopeful. That's kind of the main word that goes with this book, hopeful. Hopeful means you hope for better things ahead of us in the future. And it will make us feel that way. It's by Lucy Falcone, and it's called The Librarian's Stories. I thought it was very appropriate for the book lady to be featuring the librarian, because where's my favorite place to go? Come on, I don't hear it. That's it, the library. But then I got another book by Nichols, Maple and Willow. And this is a book about sisters, or it could be a brother. Now, do you have a sister or a brother? Well, you're going to like this book. You'll get it. We'll talk about it. Let's start out with The Librarian's Stories. You know how I often show you the cover page? See, a lot of the illustrations in this are gray and black, and it's a little bit on the sad side. I'm just warning you. All right, here we go. But look what's blowing in the air. Letters. What do you do with letters? A, B, C. You put them together to make what? Words. And what are books made of? Words. All right, here we go. First one doesn't have any words. It has pictures. See, and you can see from these pictures what life was like before. Do you see? Here's the town. And there's the library right in the middle of town. Isn't that nice? All right. The town I live in is filled with people who are scared, like me. Our lights are out. Our water has stopped running. Come, Papa says. Together, we carry plastic bottles and quietly slip outside. Already it sounds a little scary. Near the market, Papa finds someone selling bread. He tucks a loaf under his coat. Then we fill our bottles with water from a pipe. See, the sink doesn't work. Mama smiles as she cuts the bread into 3 pieces, and we eat. See, 1 piece for Mama, Papa, and me, the little boy. The next morning, Papa and I pass crumbling buildings. Oh, they look like ghosts. The line for water is long, but I am happy to meet a friend from school. As Papa and I walk home, we hear words. The words grow louder. They come from the square in front of our apartment. It's the librarian. Papa shakes his head. Foolish woman, he says, but he stays to listen. We don't have much food to eat today. Mama stops me from watering the small plant on our kitchen table because they need the water more than the plant. In the morning, gray light pours through the window. I crawl out from under my blanket and move the curtains aside. I see my cousin Anna standing in a doorway like a statue. Everything looks frozen except the librarian. Now see this picture? Look how everything is kind of gray and browns and blacks, but do you see something bright pink? Yeah, it's the librarian. And you don't see leaves on the trees, and the librarian has her scarf is pink, but it's big, and it's out like that, so you know it's blowing. So it's cold. I close my eyes. Her words carry me back to my birthday before everything changed. I have a different wish now because you know on your birthday you get to blow out the candles and make a wish. Well, his wish has changed. Mama worries when I'm at the window too long. She gently pulls me away. Too dangerous. She doesn't want him near the window. The next day, Anna, Tariq, and I listen from the stairs. The librarian's stories make us laugh. They help us remember. What are they remembering? They're remembering what it was like before when it was happy. Tanks move through our square. We hide when we see them. The town I live in is filled with people who are scared, like me. Every day the librarian comes. Every day she sits on the bench and reads. Soldiers march through our town today. We don't make a sound until long after the marching stops. Can you imagine? They're marching. And until it gets softer, now they don't hear it. Will the librarian come? I wait and wait. As the sun goes down, I hear words. And I rush to look. Mama and Papa wrap their arms around me, and we listen together. Time has passed, and the soldiers are gone. People have come back to our square. Everyone works together to clean up the rubble. I want to help. The town I live in is now filled with hope. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Martin Luther King Jr. said those words, and the author decided to put them in her book. But do you see, it's all about hope. And he wanted to help. And look at this picture. It's so different. And do you see the librarian there? I see her. And there's someone with a kite. You see a lot more color, don't you? See, what was happening is his village was involved in war. And war's pretty awful. And he was, no water, very little food, tanks rolling through their town. But that librarian, she sat there and she read a different book every day because the library had been bombed. See? But I like this one because he says, I want to help. Well, he's so little, he can't help by moving pieces of buildings. So what does he do? He finds a seat on that bench and he has a book. Very, very hopeful. So I hope you enjoyed that book. It was a little different than, what we normally read on the Book Lady, but I thought it was an important book and I wanted to share it with you, okay? Now I've brought kind of a crazy book. This is called Maple and Willow Together. And they're sisters, and they speak a funny language. And I remember doing the same thing when I was little. It's called Pig Latin. I'll explain it as we read. Maple and her little sister Willow were always together. It was hard to remember a time when the girls weren't together. In fact, their parents even wondered if the girls had their own language. And in a way, they did. Now, let's say the word snow. Say snow, snow. But in Pig Latin, you say osne. It's a little complicated. And then, what if you wanted to say the word fun? It's unfe. You know what? Ask your mom or your dad or your aunt or your uncle, maybe an older cousin, if they know how to speak Pig Latin. It's fun. They spent mornings together. Oh, look at them. They really are having fun. They're drawing, they're reading books, then they're going to eat their cereal together, and most nights. I love that picture. Look at them. They remind me of my dogs. On sunny days, the girls looked for heart rocks. That's rocks that are in the shape of a heart. And build fairy houses and caught grasshoppers. They just had a lot of fun. Hide and seek was one of their favorite games. You're it, Maple would shout. 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, 9. But Maple didn't like the way Willow counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. When it rained, Maple would chirp, "I'm in charge of the umbrella." Willow didn't mind because she was in charge of the puddles. The puddles brought out worms. Maple and Willow both loved worms. Maple kept her worm in a special box, her box. That was okay with Willow because she liked her worm to wriggle all over her fingers. Ugh. One day, Maple decided they should pick dandelions. Now, you know what a dandelion is. It's a little yellow flower in your lawn that looks sort of like a button. But before that, it grows tall and it has fur around it and you can blow it. Well, what you're blowing is dandelion seeds. Willow wanted to blow them to the wind, but Maple wanted to collect the dandelions, not blow them. That's when Willow decided to show Maple a thing or two. And Maple decided to tell Willow a thing or two. Uh-oh. Then Willow took it out on Maple's toy. Add May, add May, add May. That's Pig Latin for mad, mad, mad. She is pounding that thing. And Maple took it out on Willow. Ooh. Oh, nay means no. Neither sister wanted to be together ever again. The girls were separated and sent to their own rooms. But after a while, that got boring. So Maple slipped something over to Willow. Ari say, means sorry. Ime, ute, me too. Then Willow slipped something over to Maple. The girls met halfway and were together once again. They couldn't wait to run back outside. And this time, when Maple and Willow collected dandelions, they both made wishes and blew them to the wind. That evening, they took a bath and put on their pajamas and hopped like grasshoppers and, this is the best part, read more books. I hope you read more books. And fell asleep together. Isn't that the sweetest picture? And you know what? I have 2 baby dogs, and they sleep just like that. Oh, yeah, they do. Look at them. But see, that's what sisters do. Trust me, I have 4 girls. I'm an expert. They do everything together, and they're so close, and they talk to each other, and they play with each other, everything, and then they have a fight. I'm going that way. I'm going that way. I don't care if I ever see you again. And they say nasty things to each other. Ooh. But then there's nothing like a sister. You know, it's different than a friend. There's nothing like a brother. They're family. And yeah, there are times when you just, oh, she's just irritating me. Oh, she's making me so mad. Have you ever felt that way? Come on, have you? Have you ever been really mad at your brother or your sister and you just don't want to ever see them again? Well, of course you have. But the beautiful thing is, you're family. You're all living under the same roof. You're going to see them at dinner. And it magically, all that nastiness and all that hate, I hate you, it goes away. And that's what it's all about in a family. Sure, you can scream and yell at each other, but then it goes away. And you end up, where is that picture that I like? Like my dogs. All right, here it is. You end up like that. So cute. And you know what I thought was particularly cute was that Lori Nichols, that's the woman who wrote this book, she told us a little about herself there, but she also included a picture of herself. There's a photograph with her sister. Something tells me they were probably very close, and that's how she could write this book. She's been there. She knows what it's like. Well, guess what? I brought a picture too. And it's me, much younger. My hair's brown. Now my hair's white. That's what happens. And I have my 2 sisters. See, my sisters. Now, sometimes, you know, we would go on trips in the car, long trips, and it got boring and stuff. We had this game we used to play in the car, and it had us laughing so hard we almost cried. And we just invented the game, and it really made us laugh so hard, then we'd all, you know, fall asleep. And my mom and dad could drive further without us back there all bored and not being very agreeable. So yes, there are fond memories with your brothers and sisters. And I might find a book. Instead of Maple and Willow Together, about two brothers. Oh, look. Oh, yeah. Where will I look? Where should I go to find that book? Think about that. But also, we read the Librarian's stories. And this was an important book. And you know, this was inspired, the author, by a true story. There was a war in a city far away and way, way over across the ocean. And some people were killed and lots of buildings were destroyed. And a gentleman who played the cello. Now let me tell you about the cello. You know what a violin is. Well, it's like take the violin, make it bigger, and you put it right here between your legs, and you play it. See? And he went out to the town square, and in this book, the town square is where the library was. He went out there and played his cello in memory of anyone who was killed and just to bring some hope to that town. And that's what this book is all about, hope. You know, sometimes people get very, very sick and maybe they have to even be in the hospital. What do they have? Yes, they have doctors and nurses and x-rays and drugs and pills and shots, all. But what's the most important thing? Hope. They hope. And hope is that special, it's very special, and it's what takes you to the future. You think ahead. Like if you are 4 years old and you're very, very short, you can hope that you'll get taller. Maybe you are not getting along with your sister, and it's pretty bad. You two haven't spoken to each other in 2 days. That's where you have to have hope. It's all going to get better. It might need a rest period. Maybe 2 days apart from each other is just what you needed. And then the hope jumps in. And you work your way back. Hope is so, so important for people who are having a hard time. And that's what I was hoping you would get from this book. And the Librarian Stories, I think it's a beautiful book. And I like that the pictures, the things that are hopeful are in nice bright colors. And the things that are very grim are in dark shades, browns and grays and blacks. And we want to think pink. Ah! Oh my gosh. Is that why I wore pink? No, it's not why I wore pink. Do you want to know why I wore pink? Because my youngest daughter said, Mom, wear pink. That's what you should wear pink. So I wore pink. What do you think about that? Now let's talk about the library. Have you gotten your library card? If you can write your name, you can get a library card. And when you go to the library, you know, the library is a good place to go if you're in a bad mood. Have you ever been in a bad mood? I don't want to do that. It stinks. I don't think it's that pretty. I mean, it doesn't matter what. Somebody could give you a big ice cream cone. Doesn't taste that good. That's called stinking thinking. Yeah, we don't do stinking thinking. Got it? So when you're having that day where it's stinking thinking, I don't like my mom, I don't like my brother, I don't like anything, go to the library. I'm telling you, go to the library. And you go to that library like this. What's so great about this place? It's boring. No, it's not. you haven't started to uncover the treasures. And the way you do, now oftentimes in libraries, the librarian, those are the people who work in the library. They will put up books like this. See, so you can see it. They'll put them up and might catch your attention. You might say, hey, that looks interesting. And you get it. And the library has nice chairs and sofas and whatever. And you can sit down and look at the book. Now, if you're stinking thinking, you're probably going to go like this. This book is dumb. Oh, this book is so stupid. Dig out of that. Just dig out. And instead, you look and say, hey, this book kind of looks fun. Heart rocks, what are those? And then you can see they found some rocks that look like hearts. So, no stinking thinking. And if the other thing you should do if you're having stinking thinking, visit the book lady. Oh yeah, we'll talk about it because we won't have any of that here. And this, if you're stinking thinking, you're going to zoom in on this. You aren't going to see that pretty little patch of yellow right there. See? That's the hope. That's the hope. It's small, but it's there. And guess what happens? If you take the hope and hold it close, look what happens. It's just everywhere. Look at all the different colors. That's what happens. You got rid of the stinking thinking, and you're hugging the hope. Let me see you hug the hope. Come on, let's hug. Didn't that feel good? Now it's going to be a great day. And I don't know about you, but it's not a beautiful day here where I am. Rain, 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 lots of rain, lots of rain. And it's not very warm, it's rain, rain. Anyway, if you want to watch the Book Lady on YouTube, you can. And I hope that you will subscribe and watch all the books that we've read. We read some really wonderful books. And tell your cousins. Tell your next door neighbor. Let's say you have a cousin who lives far away. Far away. You can tell them to go on YouTube and look for the Book Lady, and they can pick which book they want to hear that day and see and talk about. That's what we do. I just bring you 2 books and read them, and we talk about them. Oh, I'm so glad you were here. And even though it's raining, my stinking thinking is gone. I'm hugging the hope, and guess what else? I'm headed for the library because I'm bringing 2 more books back to you. Oh, I can't wait to see you again. I'm the Book Lady. Bye-bye.